In this guided tour, I'll show you how you can build a custom course from scratch. Now this is really useful when you have a specific topic in mind or you're working with a specific group of teachers. Now be sure you check out the course templates before you go ahead and create your own course. We just might be able to save you a lot of time and work. So follow along with me on this tour. I'll show you how you can incorporate discussion boards, writing activities, your own content, choose EI clips, and even choose non-EI clips and put it all together to create a really dynamic course for your staff. Let me get started here on the Learner dashboard. In order to create a custom course, I'm going to need to toggle over to the Group Leader dashboard. And I need to have an administrator ID, and that means the word Group Leaders at the top. I'm going to click on it, and it'll take me over to the Group Leader dashboard. Now you can see I do not currently have any groups here. I'm going to start by adding a new group. I'm going to give my new group a code and a title. So the code is something that my staff will be entering, and it is case sensitive. So I'm just going to make sure it's all caps, ABC School District, and I'll identify who it's for with either a number or a name. So I'm going to build this for new teachers. Thinking of building a course for all my staff who are new, need some information about getting started, and then eventually we'll start putting clips on here that will help them establish their classroom routines, deal with behavior management issues, and discussion boards that will get all of these new teachers collaborating and talking with one another. So I'm going to let this course build over time. I don't have it all figured out in advance, but I at least know that it's for new teachers and I want everybody to join in September. And we'll call it New Teacher Orientation. Here it is. And click Submit. Now that very same group is sitting on my dashboard. Now it's time to just add assignments to it. I click on the name of the group, and I've got a couple choices here. I can look at the reports. Well, there are no reports yet. Nobody's joined it yet. I can add assignments to it, or I can modify that title. If I want to change that up a little bit because maybe that's too long, or I change my mind in what I wanted to call it, I can make those changes and click Submit. Now I'm going to go to assignments. I've got two choices here. I can add assignments or I can import assignments. Well, because I'm building this course from scratch, I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Assignments. This gives me a number of different options. There are different assignment types here: Course Overview, EI Video Clips Assignments and Assessments. I can include reading assignments, writing assignments, instructor journals, which is like a one-on-one discussion board between myself, the group leader, and all of the learners. So it's a private one-on-one discussion. And the discussion board is similar, but this is open. This allows everybody to read each other's responses. It's an open discussion forum. The general assignments, instructor journals, writing assignments, they all provide a text box for the learner to respond. So there's a place for them to write an answer. If I make something a reading assignment, there's no text box for a response. So I tend to not use the reading assignment very much. I like to put in an assignment that requires some type of response back from the learner. So I find that I typically use writing assignments, instructor journals, discussion boards, and general for the most part, and of course the EI video assignments. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to start with the course overview. And click on Add Assignment, and I'm going to start with a welcome message. Now remember, these are all new teachers to my district. I want my welcome message to be light and fun and welcoming. I can write a nice personal letter or whatever I want to do here. I hope you're excited about the school year ahead. We've created this course, and I'll give them a reason for why I've asked them to join this course in the first place. I'll add videos, discussion boards, and strategies to help you throughout the year. Any questions, please contact me directly, and then I'll leave them some contact information. Maybe my email address or my phone number or whatever. If I had an attachment, like if I had planned out this course well in advance, I would have an attachment, maybe a course outline that would give them some ideas of what's going to be covered throughout the year. But because I'm going to build this course and develop it over time, I don't have it all planned out in advance, so I actually don't have an attachment. But if I had a new teacher training or a teacher induction program that I wanted to include here in reference to, this would be a great place to put it here as an attachment. I can just browse and add files from my own computer here. And then I'll click Save. So that's the first assignment that these new teachers will see. Now, what do I want to add as their first real thing to do? If I was writing this course focused on a certain topic like classroom management strategies, maybe I would put an activity there that gets them thinking about strategies that have worked well or strategies that haven't, or characteristics of good disciplinarians or characteristics of teachers who have developed a positive classroom environment that I would want to emulate. Something like that would get them to connect to the topic. So let me go ahead and put this instructor journal assignment in first, where I just ask them to connect and write a response. Remember, instructor journals are a one-on-one communication between myself and this learner. So let's start with some type of reflection. We'll begin with a getting started activity on establishing classroom environment. Well, let's call it establishing your classroom environment. Prior to starting this course, think about a classroom you've observed or participated in that had a positive and well-managed environment. What did you see and hear in that classroom that you liked? And then I'll just encourage them, when they see this assignment, there will be a text box on the bottom. Use the space below. Now, if I had something I wanted them to look at, again, I can put an attachment here. I can put a video clip here. Maybe I've got a clip of a classroom environment that I want them to see. I can add it here. If it's an EI clip, I can add it by using the EI video clip icon here. We'll add a video clip later. I want them to spend about 15 minutes on this reflection. And save. And here it is. Now I'd like to add some EI video assignments to this. There's a really great section on how to establish a positive classroom environment from the Positive Behavior Supports program. So I'm going to add a number of clips. So rather than just a single clip, I've got a number of clips. In fact, it's a whole module I want them to watch in the Positive Behavior Supports program. So I'm going to click on Add Assignment, and I need to know where that video is located. So before I even add this video clip, I'll need to have written down what module, what clip numbers, how long they are, and so on before I go ahead and add this. So I know I want the Positive Behavior Supports program. The drop-down box shows me all of the programs I can choose from. I'm going to find Positive Behavior Support in Action. Here it is. Selecting the program. Now I'm going to select the module. It was the introductory module, so it was Module 1. And I want them to watch this 18-minute intro. I want them to watch all 3 clips, but rather than attach each and every separate clip, I'm just going to assign the first one and use the instruction text box there to explain what I'm asking them to do. So I'm going to take note of the fact that there's 3 clips here. I'm going to say, I'm actually going to leave it here so I can see it. I'm going to call it Positive Behavior Supports. I'll use my instructions now to be specific about what I want them to watch, but also pique their interest in what I'm presenting. I'm going to use some of the hints down here to figure out what I want to write. Learn the importance of teaching behavior and setting and then I'll also reference the fact that I'm only going to send them to the first clip. The link below will take you to clip 1. Please watch clips 1 through 3. Okay, and now I'm going to click on Assign. I'm noting that it's 18 minutes. Assign. Now you can see that first clip is here. If they watch all 3 of those, it told me that it's 18 minutes. I don't have a due date on that, but I could if I wanted to have them complete that for the next staff meeting. There we go. Now it's sitting here. All right, what's next? I have a document I would like them to use. It's a checklist that shows them some basic guidelines for what their classroom should look like and what they should be thinking about for September and starting their year off on a positive note. So I've got my own document. So I'm going to add an assignment. I'm going to just make that a writing assignment this time just to mix it up a little bit. And it's a classroom checklist. And I'll include some instructions, I'll add the attachment, tell them how much time I want them to spend on it, and this time I'm going to put a due date. I actually do want them to come to my staff meeting on October 18th with this checklist completed. Now I can see that my checklist has been attached, and I want them to spend about 20 minutes on that. Use the attached checklist, we'll discuss, use the space below to reflect on your classroom environment. And looks good. And now you can see that the due date shows up here. I think it's time to put one more assignment on here. I want my new teachers to collaborate and talk to one another. And so far I've got some writing assignments and some instructor journals where they're just writing to me. I'm going to add a discussion board. I found a really great clip on YouTube which shares some of the struggles and frustrations and stresses of first-year teachers, and I want them to watch it and relate to it. So it'll be just a fun and light discussion board, but we'll get all my new teachers talking to one another, hopefully. Here's the YouTube clip I'm planning on using. So I'm going to just copy and paste the link into my EI course. Click on Add URL, and I'm just going to paste it in there. Now, how long was it again? Go back and take a look real quick. It was only a minute and a half. So that's about a minute and a half, but I'm going to ask them a question, so I'll give them 10 minutes. So watch this video about getting ready for the first day of school. After viewing, leave a comment on the discussion board. Can you relate? How were your thoughts about your first day or week, similar or different? And everything looks like it's good to go here. No due date. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. So this is looking pretty good for the first part of this course. I'm actually going to divide this up into units throughout the year. So this is just the introductory part where I'm getting them thinking, and I'm liking the way this is starting. As I start working through this course, though, I'm going to be chunking it into units. And I like to use the overview assignment to organize it into units. I know that Educational Impact has a really great program on coaching and mentoring the teacher, and we're going to watch that throughout the year. So my first unit will be from that program. And I can use some instructions, add an attachment here if I like, but I like to chunk my course into units. And I like to use the overview because it's this nice shaded box and it helps chunk the course into pieces, right? So as I start adding assignments to that, I'm going to make units. Over time, as I use these overview assignments to chunk everything into units, my course starts to take shape and it looks a lot more organized than to just have a long list of assignments. So I would strongly recommend using the overviews because they have this nice shading area here that helps to organize things into separate chunks or separate units. If I want to change the order of any of these assignments, I certainly can. If I hover to the left of any assignment, a blue two-way arrow shows up. And if I drag and drop that, I can play around with the order a little bit and move things around. If I want to change an assignment, I certainly can do that too. I can click on Edit and change up the instructions, remove clips, add additional resources, due dates, and so on. Once your course is complete, then all you have to do is go back to the Learner dashboard, toggle over, and enter the group code. And this is also what your learners would do. Remember the group code that we created at the beginning, all caps. And here's my course. Remember I mentioned that the learner's perspective is a little bit different than the group leader's perspective. When I click on Instructor Journal as a learner, now I get a text box here for my response. When you add an EI video assignment, for example, there is no text box for a response. It's a simple link to the clip with your instructions. So it's just really a good idea to join that group and make sure that you're seeing it from your learner's perspective. When it comes time to monitoring the progress of this group and viewing what everybody's written, you're going to do that back on the group leader dashboard. You'll click on the group, you'll see a lot of learners, you'll see details, and you'll even be able to view what they've written. To add a new group or course, repeat the steps. Click on Add New Group and continue creating courses and user groups. So that's how it's done. Now remember, you don't have to have everything planned out in advance before you even get started. You can really just let the course build over time. If you need any help along the way, let us know and we'd be happy to point you in the right direction.